What kind of man lives to be 100 and never really leaves the stage? Picture it. A thin ribbon of cigar smoke, a slow squint, a pause so perfectly timed it feels like the world itself is waiting. That was George Burns. But the calm, unhurried legend you remember was built on hunger, loss, and a lifetime of starting over. He wasn't born George Burns. He was Nathan Birnbaum, born in 1896 on New York's Lower East Side, the ninth of 12 children in a cramped immigrant apartment. When his father died in 1903, 7-year-old Nathan went to work, shining shoes, selling newspapers, singing in candy stores for spare coins. Laughter came before comfort. Survival came before applause. The stage wasn't a dream. It was rent money. Vaudeville hardened him. Night trains, cheap hotels, crowds that sometimes laughed and sometimes stared in silence. He learned something powerful during those years. Don't chase the spotlight. Control the rhythm. Then, in 1923, he met Gracie Allen. And everything shifted. Gracie's brilliance wasn't loud. It was sideways. She answered questions wrong on purpose, twisted logic into gold. George did something rare for a performer. He stepped back, half a pace. Let her shine. He became the straight man, the steady pulse that allowed her chaos to bloom. They married in 1926, and for nearly 40 years they were Burns and Allen. Radio in 1932, television in 1950, America's living rooms every week. He even broke the fourth wall before it had a name. You turning to the camera as if whispering directly to you. Intimate, revolutionary. But success carries shadows. In the 1950s, he had an affair. He confessed. Gracie stayed. Not because it didn't hurt, but because their lives, their work, their history were woven too tightly to unravel. When her health declined and she died in 1964, the act ended, but the man kept going. On stage, he still said, "we" more than "I." The pauses grew longer, the laughter softer. Then came the twist no one saw coming. In 1975, after heart surgery, he stepped into the Sunshine Boys, a role meant for his friend Jack Benny. At nearly 80, he won the Academy Award in 1976. Hollywood didn't resurrect him. He had never stopped working. They simply noticed again. In 1977's Oh God, he turned age into presence, calm, amused, eternal. He outlived trends, outlived peers, outlived doubt. Even after a fall in 1994 weakened him, he kept the habits, exercise, cigars, stories. In 1995, he received the Screen Actors Guild Lifetime Achievement Award. On March 9, 1996, only weeks after turning 100, he died of heart failure. He was buried beside Gracie, their names side by side as they had been on marquees for decades. Here's the lesson. Talent gets applause. Endurance builds legacy. George Burns didn't fight time. He made time wait for the laugh. And maybe that's the secret. Stand steady. Hold the pause. Let the world catch up.